series, in the series of the Level Up, the number 15th, and this is the relaunch, the second one. So I'm going to invite Vishalji to please say a few words and welcome everyone.
Jai Jinendra, thanks Sushma ji. Hello everyone, welcome to this special session. And also at the outset, happy Mother's Day to all your mothers and those mothers in the group with us, to you as well. Welcome to this session 15, Career Crossroads. And if I reflect my career, and I guess everyone's career, we have those choices and moments, and those choices define our trajectory. Back in my days, when at the age of 18, I chose to do CA, that taking a decision of doing a CA really led to a number of things later on in life. Likewise, whether at the start of the career or the middle of the career, we always have choice around education, certification, learning opportunities, also around the type of organizations. So today, I think we are focusing around the education and the learning part, but it's a very interesting topic. And our career and our life is a function of choices we make, including the choice we made to join today. All of you made the right choice. So I appreciate you joining. Just a reminder, we will continue to have this Level Up series session every month. Choose new topics. If you have suggestions, do put that in the chat box. We do have a separate group of mentees, Level Up Circle we have, what we call. I think you can join there and share your thoughts and become part of the journey. With that, welcome again. And I hand this back to you, Sushma ji.
Thank you. Yes, I know life is actually a whole series of choices, no matter what. And today, of course, our focus is going to be on the choices we make in respect to our careers. So firstly, is it a job? Is it a career? Right? So many choices. And with the world changing the way it is right now, numerous choices. I'm sure you know, Vishalji, when you were mentioning it, I think when we were there, it was like either engineering, medical, yeah, CA. Very few choices. We didn't even have the type of things that we have now. And it's always a question, okay, what should we really do? Am I on the right track? How do I stay relevant? Is this going to really take my career forward? Or is it going to be something which, becomes obsolete? And for that, today we have three experts who are going to share their viewpoints. There is Prashant Singhvi, Swati Jain ji, and Sripal ji. Wonderful sharings and discussions that we're going to have. Now, it's not only them sharing. We would love your engagement too. As Vishalji has said, please use the chat box to write down your questions. You have registered and some of you have sent some questions across. And we will definitely be looking at some of those. But as and when anything comes up to you, please, we are monitoring it. So keep it going. Interact. So what is the flow that we're going to follow? We're going to have a discussion with our three panelists today, post which we're going to just ask them a lot of questions on these topics on your behalf. After that, we will look at the chat box and pick up your questions from there, curated and presented to them. And finally, we will open up the mic in the last 15 minutes or so for you to ask your questions directly. So that will take us very close to 11:30, which is the time which we plan to wind up with a vote of thanks. And then for a few minutes, if there are still some pending questions, we can have some informal interactions. So I hope the flow is clear. And with that, I would really like to take it forward and make it very relevant to the people who are here today. We want to really make it relevant to the people who are here today. As Vishalji said, you made a choice to come here today. Something has brought you. We'd like you to get value for your time and whatever doubts and questions are coming up, please. So to do that, we request that we want a little bit of data from you to find out who exactly has joined us today. And for that, we are launching a poll, right? Ritika, could you just launch? Yeah, okay. I'm launching that poll. There are 3 questions in that poll, a little bit of personal data, but it'll help us make it relevant to you. Thank you for answering this poll. It should be showing up on your screens right now. It'll just take you a minute to answer these very basic questions with a little bit of data. And this data is anonymous. Yeah, I can see the number of you have already started answering. Thank you so much for that. Okay, just another 30 seconds more. We'll keep the poll open. I think almost all of you have answered, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's look at the poll and say what we get as the demographics. Here is it. So we see that the age group, we have a varied age group, and 25 and below, it's almost 50% of the people who join us today. And I think that's the initial start of the careers. So there may be lots of questions and confusion there. I'm sure that'll get sorted out a lot today. Between 25 and 30, as you can see, a few. And then the rest is 40 to 60. Wow. So there is some career crossroads there too, and people are curious. So maybe they're curious for themselves, and maybe they're curious for the younger generation and their family. Let's find out, right? And as we go along and we see the next one, 36% employed in the corporate sector, self-employed 18, not working 36. Again, interesting. You know, what exactly would add value to you? And there's an other category. Would love to know that. Feel free to use the chat box to send us more information. IT sector, finance makes up a big chunk. But here, interestingly, the other category is like 57%. So what's your professional background? Would love to know from almost 60% of you who are here have chosen other. Only 4% are CA, CPA, and legal 4%. So please use the chat box. Let us know exactly what it is and what you're looking forward to, and we will monitor the chat box. Sayogji, Vishalji, request you to please monitor that chat box also, and feel free to, share information that you think there. So thank you so much, and let's start with this. So for our panelists, let's start with some of the questions that we had been putting up in the teasers was, we're at a crossroads, India or abroad? MTech, MBA, CA, CPA. What are the various choices that are always in front of us? What to do? What are the certifications that you really need, right? These are the type of things that we are looking at. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to start with introducing Prashant ji, who is, just going to spotlight for everyone. Prashant ji, Jai Jinendra, and welcome and thank you. Thank you for really agreeing to come here and share all this and remove some confusion. Okay, so Prashant ji Sanghvi is the Managing Director at Accenture Strategy and Consulting. He leads the global supply chain and operations practice. Over 25 years of deep industry and consulting experience in helping organizations build supply chain resiliency, optimize costs across the value chain, as well as embark on digital transformation and reinvention journeys across industries and geographies. Prashant ji actually did his mechanical engineering from Pune and MS in operations research from USA. So here you see India, US, MS, and MBA, what? So prior to joining Accenture in India, Prashant ji was based out of US, leading supply chain functions for various organizations. So Prashant ji, welcome again. And I'm going to ask you the very first question. Yeah, MS, MTech, or MBA? So I see that you don't really have an MBA, but you've got an extremely successful career. So what would you like to share on this aspect? And request all panelists to keep the answers short, and we can always go deeper as we go along. Thank you, Prashantji. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vishal and Sushmaji, for the opportunity. Hi, people on the call. Thanks for having us here. So I think for me, I'm a mechanical engineer. Uh, didn't get a lot of out of my engineering, but I did one subject called operations research in engineering. That was one data point. Second, I was very clear I was never going to go abroad. I was a true nationalist, wanted to be in India and make a career in India. So I worked for a Swedish joint venture in Ahmedabad. And in that 1 year, I did not enjoy working at all. And I wanted to go do higher education. And that's where the cross points came for me. So I think for me, the decision was very clear that I wanted to be somebody deep in what I do. Being a Marwadi brought up in Gujarat, I thought I can I can I can swing my way around, but I want to be deep at something, and that was the primary principle I had when making a decision whether I should do an MBA versus an master's. And working in this Swedish company in Ahmedabad, I was able to use numbers and data and Excel modeling and create something very interesting. And that excited me. And hence, my decision was that MBA I will do at some point, maybe. But today, I want to get deep into operations research, modeling, simulation. And that's what I did. I did my master's in OR when most people in India did not know what OR is. And my entire career I owe to that one decision, one cross point that I was, whether I do an MBA or a MS. And I'm not saying that those are the right decision for me, who I am as an individual. It was the best decision I made in my career. And 25 years later, I'm still reaping the benefits of the decisions I made. So it's a personal decision, but either decision is not a wrong decision.
Thank you so much. And I love what you said. Swing. I didn't want to swing my way around. I wanted to go deep and be a master or something. Fantastic. So these are also choices that we make. Do we really want to go deep into one subject and become an expert in that area, or do we want to be more of a generalist? And thank you so much for sharing, and we'll come back to you. Thank you. Now, over to Sripal Jainji. Sripal, I'm going to highlight you, right? And let me give a little background. A very, very impressive career that you've had. And when we look at your career, I mean, it's like you've actually done a CA from India. Then you've gone ahead and done a CPA. And currently you are based out of the US, right? And Sripalji is a CA CPA. He's a first generation entrepreneur, a co-founder and lead faculty of Simandar. And you can see that in his background too. Really proud of being there, right? And you are AICPA's channel partner in India. Very, very innovative. And I'm sure there's a fire burning in you because you've been twice awarded the top 40 under 40 accounting professional in the US by CPA Practice Advisors, AICPA. There's just so much that we could learn from you and whatever it is. And, where do the people go? Because a lot of CAs, CPAs, and you are also into education. So you've addressed more than 200 chartered accountants, and you always talk about, and you've given the thing that, you're the future ready chartered accountant, upskilling for CAs in the AI era. So CA versus CPA versus CMA versus CFA. I mean, these are like so many alphabets. Tell us more about it. And what are your thoughts on Career Crossroads? Over to you, Sripalji.
Thank you, Sushmaji. First of all, this is an amazing platform to kind of share views. And it's good that so many young people are also there so that they get the exposure. So thank you so much for organizing this. And very nice to see Naukar Mantra playing there. So it feels good. It's night 12 o'clock here in the US. But yeah, so feels really good. So thank you so much. And definitely, I think multiple qualifications are becoming a new norm today, with so many disruptions coming up in technology. And like I've been always telling at various platforms, that today a single qualification is not sufficient, especially for young professionals. There are a lot of distractions, and it's always good to do two, three things than just to be doing one thing and then staying idle. And India is more global than local today. And we are seeing a lot of US companies setting up their practices here in India. And what happened, Sushma ji, in the US is there are a lot of accountants leaving the profession. Many of them are getting aged, and the newer people are not entering into the accounting field, unfortunately, in the US. And that's what makes a lot of US companies to open up their offices in India. And that's some of the reasons why we are advocating a lot of the chartered accountants in India to do a US chartered accountancy, which is CPA. And if you see Indian chartered accountancy, it's more like 3.5 to 4 years play. So I've done my chartered accountancy at age 21, fortunately in first attempt. But if you see that CA typically takes 4 to 5 years, and if you see the US CPA, it takes like 6 months max to 8 months. So Indian chartered accountancy, no doubt, is one of the toughest exams today what we have. So I would suggest that having a CA obviously is a very, very big advantage. But then in this global world, having a CPA obviously would add more advantage, because CPL makes you feel more global. And if you see, the US companies also look for more such qualifications, because a CPA gives them the signing power. End of the day, they can attest, they can open their own firm in the India here, bring the US work to India. This is in line with Narendra Modi ji's vision also, to have India see one of the global firms. So if we want to go global, obviously we'll need to acquire a global qualification. I think CPA plays a better role along with CA there. CFA, obviously, your interest, if is into stock market, if it's into equity markets, portfolio management, I think CFA plays a very good role there. CMA, if people are not fond of accounting and all, I think CMA is more suited, because they are more into strategy, financial planning, analytics. So I think the puzzle is quite easy to find out where your interest is. So if your interest is to become more global, try to open up your own audit practice, or move into the US accounting, US pathway, I think CPA plays a better role there. And if your interest is more towards equity market, CFA plays better. And if it's all around, I think, like I said, it's not bad to have multiple qualifications like I had. So in this thing, you get a lot of time these days. So it's good to do multiple qualifications as well.
Sure. Thank you so much. One is the multiple qualifications. And of course, as you rightly said, the companies that are coming into India, the global companies, and, all these certifications do help. So we will keep that in mind as we go along, and we'll come back to you for more questions. And I'm sure as the participants here, as and when you're listening to the speakers, please request you do put your questions out there, in chat, or as we said, you can unmute later, right? So thank you so much, Sripal ji. And over to Swati ji. Swati ji, it's lovely to have you here. And I was looking at the World Economic Forum, okay? And according to the World Economic Forum, there are certain jobs, there's a future of jobs report of 2025. And where's India's landscape going to be? The top job, fastest growing, according to them, by 2030, sorry, is big data specialists. And this is exactly what Swati ji's specialties are. She's a seasoned professional with over 24 years in analytics and consulting experience. Currently, she's a partner at Deloitte and focuses on engineering, AI, and data. Swati ji is a thought leader, mentor, speaker at multiple AI forums and educational associations across the IIMs. Dr. Swati Jain has been named among top AI leaders in India by NASSCOM, Analytics Vidya, Analytics India magazine. and through AI. Earlier, she worked at Excel, Cognizant, People Research, and EY, right? Okay, so Swati ji, we're just looking at, you've got the PhD also from IIT Delhi, and Masters in Business Economics from Delhi University. So coming back to this, when you said data and data analytics, this is exactly what the World Economic Forum is also saying in their futures of jobs. It's saying data specialists, AI machine learning, fintech engineers, software and application developers, top jobs. What can youngsters do? And do you think this is really going to be true? And if so, why?
Okay.
Over to you, Swati.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sushma ji, Sanyog ji, Vishal, for inviting me and choosing me to be a part of this panel. Definitely, I think the world is changing, and what we see today, like it is unprecedented. I mean, the way that the things are changing, like jobs are changing faster every day. I don't think the curriculums can ever match it. So definitely means there is a lot of focus, and from the time we began with our careers way back in 2000, I think the technology took a center stage, and Google came, and then Facebook, and all of the digital natives came, and then today we have the generative AI, agentic AI taking center stage. So what we say today is that today the anything around data and analytics is like English, right? So when anyone is studying in college, one should ascertain that a little bit of data literacy is there. Do some courses. So that is very essential, because as you see, I am fully aligned with the fact with this report, where it is said that data analytics and big data, etc., will be the top jobs. Of course, that doesn't mean that people have to go away from their domains, be it like finance, marketing, HR, legal, whatever you are interested in, you have to be data literate. So while the reports say that okay, big data analytics, AI, machine learning, ML engineers, that will be the top job. So that is one category where one is specializing in that field. But a very big category is where you are creating the crossroads of these careers, where finance plus technology, fintech, marketing plus technology, martech, legal tech, all HR analytics, even in HR analytics is gaining center stage. So this is the second category of jobs that I would say, definitely. And then there are a few others like AI ethics specialists. So the ethics part is also gaining center stage with technology rising. So that is also not only ethics part, but overall governance, compliance in the organization, the focus around ESG, sustainability, and all of that. So that's another, the third category of jobs. So I think the jobs are changing, but uh, in terms of the focus towards technology, that is increasing, and that is paramount, and that is unavoidable. But I would motivate the group to focus on their core passion, and then embed technology along with the same.
Wow. Thank you. Absolutely. So we'll just continue with you if it's okay with you. And that is, then we've got a lot of young people here. And one thing which I didn't share with you right now was I did a research also on what are the jobs that are going to be declining. And surprisingly, data entry clerks, bank tellers, postal service clerks, those were the declining jobs. So I'm sure hopefully people do understand data analytics versus data entry, right? The huge difference. And sometimes I think, people just get into jobs or think, is it really a career? What would you say is the big difference? And how do people decide? You mentioned something very interesting. Is it your core area of interest? I have had people who come and say, ma'am, I took up computer science because everybody else told me to. And that was where the jobs were, but I don't enjoy it anymore. What advice would you give to some people and how should we decide Is this the area I really want to be in? A quick short answer would be helpful.
No, I think I was very fortunate to learn this the very first lesson in my career. So in grade 11, I took medical just because many of my friends were taking medical, and that was a defined like job that you can be a doctor. And in those days, and I realized that 11th and 12th were the worst years of my life, academic life, because I didn't enjoy studying the subjects. And I knew in my heart, even while taking the subjects, that it is just because of peer pressure I'm taking. And then, so when I passed 12th, all my friends, though I was an NTSC scholar and I was very, very bright, I could not get through medical. It was the biggest lesson of my life that you have to hear your inner core. That is the most essential. Then my brother was a CA. He motivated me to do CA. Then I thought, though CA was more interesting to me than a medical, but then I thought, no, I would want to do, and I had economics as a subject. I just loved it. So I just took it. And means it showed how I could progress in economics and how I could get back to the best of my grades, how I could do my PhD along with my job and a married life and bearing a son, just because I loved the subject. So I think passion is most important. Second is that along with your passion, of course, in today's time, I would say that you have to embed technology somewhere. And when you are, and that also means some people are gifted. They have means being in the field of technology. I've seen that some people are really gifted, and they technology comes naturally to them. To some, the technology may not come naturally, but now it's not a choice. Be it comes naturally or not, you have to see how you can embed it over the. So first, I would say passion is the thing. Second is the continuous learning that people have to, like, be it. I think Sripalji also mentioned, like, take certifications, academics, means do whatever you can in the area of your choice, because that one road will lead to the other. When you are at crossroad, then it is only whatever you possess internally, because today companies are not looking for just qualifications. They are looking for true capability. They are looking for true readiness, that can you do it. So that readiness, the certifications, etc., will also help. So my suggestion is, if there are two key highlights, it would be passion and it would be continuous learning, supported by hard work and focus.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful advice to all. And I think it's not only just the youngsters, it's, I think, relevant for all of us, you know. I mean, no matter what our age, continuous learning, I think, is one thing which I really believe in very strongly. And with that, I'm just going to go over to thanks, Swati, and we'll come back to you. And Sripadi, you know, just continuing this, because you've been doing it so much in education, you interact with so many youngsters, whether US, India. What have you and what type of advice would you give the youngsters of today? How do they decide? What do they do? What is it that you have come across as mistakes that they're making and what they should focus on?
I think the current generation, what we see is very impatient. So patience is now a virtue these days. So I would strongly suggest that they be extremely be patient and don't judge things faster, because I think at my time, though I still feel I'm not old, but yeah, so I'm 36 now. But at our time, I think experience used to play a bigger role, and now I think money is playing a bigger role for youngsters. So they tend to measure everything in terms of, I mean, in monetary terms. So these days they are seeing the shorter picture, and I think they should be seeing the longer picture and be more long term, and the perspective has to be long term. I think that has to change now, and that is something, I guess a lot of the youngsters are trying to be little faster in the way they are transitioning as well. So today I'm in audit. After 1 year they want to be in tax or something else. Today they are in Apple. Tomorrow they want to be at Microsoft, then Accenture. So they're not kind of getting stable or being patient or getting that this is their kick. So now how do I understand that what is something I like or not is obviously is to work in that profile, assuming by not judging anything and see how the process flows. So if you're able to understand, if you're able to enjoy for a year or something in that profile, I think you can continue in that. If you're not liking that, I mean, after a couple of years, you can always make a switch, but at least give some time. Try to see, try to invest that particular in that particular domain. So I would suggest that is very important because the patience is becoming a big problem. So I think at our times, even a bank reconciliation statement used to be given to us. We used to do with a lot of love. But nowadays, everyone wants to do a finalization, prepare accounts, and I think that is the biggest issue right now. So everyone wants to become partner at day one, which will not happen. So corporate career is always long term, and it has to be in that manner only. And I think I've learned the same in my entrepreneurship. Nothing have come at day one. And Swati is working with Deloitte, and actually we are one of the vendors as well for Deloitte. And to be honest, to get a Deloitte contract, it took me almost 3 years to follow up with them. And it's so robust, and you need to be extremely be patient because there are multiple things, multiple reviews and all. So if you think that today only I'll get all the corporate contracts, it will not happen. I think entrepreneurship, what I learned in entrepreneurship is being extremely be patient. And I think in corporate career, I was not like that. When I was working in my initial years, I used to be very impatient. I used to think, yeah, everything happens fast. Companies should give hikes a little more. But when I'm at the receiving end now, I think I can understand how it kind of works. So my advice to youngsters is be patient. Everything will come. Everything will fall in your bucket. But just that you need to be little patient and be long term.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I call it the 2 minute Maggie. हमको मैगी की आदत हो गई है 2 मिनट में चलो हमको चाहिए. And when you look at it, even if you want a real long-term career, looking at 40 years of a career, whatever it is, I mean, it's all about the foundation. If the foundation is built really strong, the building can go much higher. Foundation is weak. After some time, you may get, quick promotions, you may get quick opportunities, but then you're not capable of handling it and it collapses. And I think that also leads to a lot of mental health issues because our capability is not as per the expected productivity that is really there. And on that note, thank you so much. Let me go to Prashant ji. Prashant ji, capability, productivity, you've been dealing with the corporates, you've been in India, you've been abroad. And what type of advice would you give somebody who wants to get into a corporate area? And what do you see on these topics, even what Swati has talked about and Sripal ji has talked about? Over to you.
Okay. Hi. So I think what to do to get into the corporate area, I think it's a choice you have to make. You can, I mean, I have friends when I was making a decision to go the corporate route. I had friends who decided to make an entrepreneurial route, and these are choices you make. But if you're going to go into a corporate area, I think what Sripalji was saying is very important. Patience is a virtue, right? In the corporate area, you need to go through the steps, the journeys as the career journeys to get to where you get to, right? I mean, it and of course there is one. Money also is not linear in corporate. It is almost like an exponential curve. You need to first build the right foundation, as you were saying, Sushma ji. You have to prove your worth. You have to prove that you've given your dues to the society in the corporate world. And the initial careers or initial promotions are incremental in terms of monetary reward. But if you stay put and you give in your dues and you demonstrate outcomes and values for your client, for your organization, for your fellow employees or fellow colleagues, I think you get noticed and the career shoots up. That is one point. But in all these things, right, few things always stay true, right? Um, you are as good as the depth you bring, right? So you need to have some areas of expertise that you are truly great at, right? You can be a data scientist, you can be a great supply chain specialist, you can be a great finance specialist. That you need to have. What I call is an anchor. Second is, in corporate, you are not a lone ranger, right? You always work in teams, right? So your ability to take along others, having those social skills, collaborating with others, having empathy for your stakeholders, your fellow colleagues, your clients. These are things that are soft skills that are super critical, because without, you can be the most amazing, smartest guy from the best pedigree of institutions. But if you do not have this soft layer in you, right, uh, you will not get up in the corporate world, right? So those are the two things. A, be good at something, which is what Swati ji also mentioned, passion. You need to have something that truly defines you. I am the best at that. The soft skills are super critical, and then patience for Sripal ji. See, I think this is the magic, right? I have not changed jobs. I do. I mean, I've changed jobs in my early 5 7 years of career. I changed multiple jobs, but that was right. Not I didn't change for money. I changed to accumulate experiences. I was a director. I took a less money and went to another company because I want to do warehousing and logistics. I was the best planning guy. So I have made corporate. I've taken roles, a within organization, across organizations, to build experiences, so that when I am ready for the next level, I am differentiated and I get significantly more responsibilities and money. I mean, that's how I call out the success or the approach to succeed in the corporate career from my vantage point.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to continue with you if it's okay.
Sure.
And that is, we are, all of us have faced these things, where we reach a crossroads and say, okay, should I do this or should I do that? For me, I was also living in the US and we had to move back to India. Then, okay, should I go back to the corporate or should I start something on my own? Eventually, I did start on my own and I've been in it for 25 years and happy, really happy that I made that decision. But, I would love to pick your brain. When you are at a crossroad, what decision-making process do you follow? How do you decide? Because both seems okay.
Right, fantastic, right? I think I can so I go by what I call is guiding principles, right? So I always call out what are the principles that I value, right? So I mean, I can take the example of coming back to India. I was having an amazing career in the US. 2010 is the crossroad, and there are multiple cross choices, right? A, should I go start my own startup in India, or go to corporate? But the decision to come to India was very very important. And I think what I call is principles, right? What I say is these are non-negotiables. I mean, for me, there were 3 or 4 non-negotiables. A, that, or other I call principles, that A, that India is a rising tide. Do I agree with that? I said yes. Number 2, I said I value family and friendships more than my great success in my career in the US. Number 3, that I enjoy the sense of belonging that I get in India more than I get in the US. And then, of course, India has its own challenges, and money will be less, money will be more. The ease of life is more, less, quality of life is less more. But for me, I prioritize what are the most important principles or non-negotiables, and my decisions are always based on that. Because once you put a framework that this is what who I am, this is what I value, this is important to me and my family, then decision making becomes very very important. And I've used this in my choice of doing an MBA versus a master's in OR, my choice of doing it in India versus the US for my higher education, my choice of moving from one job to another, because I didn't put money ever in my decision making. My decision making was always on the principles that defines me, makes me happy, and it has served me well in every aspect of my decision making. So create those a framework, create those rules or principles that you can always check back. Is it still true? Is it still true? Is it still true? And we've been here for 15 years, and those principles are still true, that India is a rising tide. Number 2, that I value family and friends more over careers. And I mean, those things will basically make decision making that much easier for you.
Thank you so much. So it's really wonderful to hear that, it all boils down to our own values and principles, which we need to be very clear to. And with that, I'm just going to go back to Sripalji. Thank you, Prashantji. We will come back to you. And Sripalji, you know, again, I'm going to come back and mainly ask you for youngsters. At 20, 16, are people even clear about their values? What do you sense, and what is the sense that you get? And how much important would you give this? We're in our 40s, 60s, and it's easier for us to talk about it. कि भाई values पे रहो, principles पे रहो, पैसा नहीं देखो. You know, what are your thoughts and what are you experiencing with the youngsters around you? And India
No,
and
I
abroad.
think I'm seeing that they are more spiritually inclined.
Mm,
That was there at our time also, and it's still there, is what I feel, because every entrepreneurship or every business comes with a problem. When I was starting Samandar, there was a problem statement that graduates only used to do CA. There were no career options.
mm,
So इंडिया में कहा जाता था कि सिर्फ सीए करिए, दैट्स इट, देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन. बट देन व्हेन आई केम, I found out that a lot of the BComs were not interested doing that. They wanted some route, because everyone is not inclined towards CA and to do the tough courses. We brought different courses and people were doing that courses. We placed them and all those things as well. So I think in that manner, so I was trying to solve a problem there. So if you have a problem solving approach and then align the values with that, I think it goes a long way. It happened with me. I kept Samandar education. Samandar Swami is our current Tirthankar also in Jainism. Out of 20
yes.
Viraman is the first Viramanji. So it's not that we were not spiritually inclined. I think the values are there, the systems are being followed, and ethics and integrity is given importance now. So I feel that the youngsters are also understanding that. They are knowing that companies which are ethically managed tend to get investments also more. And if you're not able to manage that ethically, or if you're not following the value systems, I think the investors are also not looking at you. So this is one from entrepreneurship perspective. I think from corporate perspective also, empathy is becoming a very big thing now. Now, when you go to the leadership level, I think that is one quality which is being discussed a lot. So I think youngsters are understanding that, and because they themselves don't like working a lot, they are like, they want their 10 to 6, and I think we are done with that. They don't want
Mm,
anyone to disturb them post 6 o'clock. So they also understand this, and I think that's where they are also coming to terms with the quality of the work. They understand that you need to give some time to your own to yourself as well, and that's where you see the way the growth have happened, Sushmaji, in yoga and meditation. I think youngsters are doing it more than anyone, I would say, today, because there are so many issues which are coming these days. The mental stress is a lot, and
mm.
I think this is being practiced at a very young age now, with through everyone. So I think yes. So this is
Yes.
something which is being followed rigorously now.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it gives us a lot of hope that, we seem to be on the right track, and probably whatever we're trying to pass on to the next generation is being passed on and people are realizing the values. So fantastic. Thank you so much. And over to Swati ji. Swati ji, with two kids, managing a house, everything that you do, right? And you are also in the corporate. So to survive in an AI age, to survive in this AI age with everything being instant, a lot of work from home, where even maybe Shripad is talking about empathy. How do we manage all that? And what would be the top type of, not the technical hard skills, but what would be really required for people, women or men, to succeed in the future going forward? What type of qualities?
Sure, sure. So, in terms of what will be required, Sushmaji, I think a lot has been spoken, but I will just put it in terms of skills and your innate qualities, both. So, in terms of skills, we talked about like three category of skills. One, technology skills, I've already
Mm,
elaborated, and the panelists also. Second, there has been a focus discussion even on the human skills, where empathy was one of the skills highlighted, but then collaboration, overall emotional intelligence, mm, um, uh, uh, communication, storytelling. I think those skills are also going to be important in the age forward, as it is as we move in the AI driven age. And thirdly, your innate intelligence is anyways analytical, logical thinking, those are required. So that is in terms of the skills you should, cognitive skills, human skills, and technology skills. That is something that all of you should have, whatever job one is in. Then what it takes, you mentioned that doing a lot of things, right? As a woman or as a man, we have to today juggle, especially in this technological era where we have so many distractions. So I think number one, uh, especially like if you are in a corporate job where you are defined by your hours and you have to commit yourself, right? So I think a lot of one, beginning with passion, that you have to have it, then you can balance it well. Focus and hard work, those are the qualities that were there before. So as Prashantji said, what stood earlier also stands today. So these qualities are the same, but I'm just reiterating it. So hard work and focus, mean, I see many a times when I think that okay, uh, I have to be there or I am not there, then I think to myself that I will work the hardest anybody can possibly work, right? If it happens, it
Yeah.
happens. So I think that commitment to yourself, that I'll work hard for what I want to get, so that is important. What has also helped me over time is also networking, uh, because that has not only made me connected with the people but also inspired me a lot, because I connect to the right people, and then only what we see can we achieve, right? When something is in our vision, then we dream about it and we achieve it. So I think a great network has also helped me over the course of time, and also associating with the right mentors. A small advice from the mentor has helped me grow.
Mm.
So
Mm.
and many times, especially as a woman, when I saw that there was a phase when I had kids and there was a slight slowness in my promotions, etc., then I talked to one of the lady mentors. She said, what's wrong about it, right? You you invest, you focus more on your kids at that period, and then you can shoot. So I have seen also one thing I would want to advise this group of people, that never think where you are today. Just where you are today, work hard and always aspire to be where you want to be. And because the career is, I am sure people in like Prashantji and all can relate. See, after a point in the in the corporate world, you reach the highest position, and then there are many people in that position, and to grow further becomes difficult. So people who are even 7 to 10 years younger reach the same position, and all are sitting at the same position. So there's nothing like if you are slow at time, or if you are, because ultimately everybody reaches there. And then so my sincere advice is, just focus on yourself. If you focus on yourself, your passion, your hard work that you can do, and your ability to skill, reskill, uh, unskill, upskill yourself, all of that will play in the longer run. And I'm sure I've seen everybody reaching where. And I will give one more example. I've seen people who passed out of the best of the B schools globally, etc. Today, they may be struggling for jobs, and person who might have done from a side is getting the best of the career breaks. So we never know. I will also motivate here people who are in a career break, because I also saw some people saying not working. Please,
Yes.
there's no age here. You may, if you want to do something, start without thinking of your age. I have so many examples that I give to my team to motivate them, that see, if this can happen within a span of couple of years, why can't we do it? Big companies, means we see some of the companies with the largest market caps were just started in our times, and today where they are. And there might be companies who are 200 years old, right? So means there's all of the conventions are being broken, and I think the inner passion, confidence, guts are what are going on. So that is what I will say here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, now a quick round for both. You mentioned something that when you were in the dilemma, you were at a crossroads sometimes, and you went to a mentor, said, you know, amazing. So it's not that we are alone. It's not that we have to do it ourselves. I mean, there's a huge role that mentors play in, I think, almost all our lives. So a quick 1 minute answer from Prashant ji, and then I'll come to Sripal ji, and then we will open it up to questions and to the rest of the group after talking a little bit about mentorship and the role that mentors play. Sripal ji, Prashant ji, did mentors play a role in your career, in your life? And how did you choose them? How did you find them?
So, no, absolutely right. Mentors absolutely play a very important role. I think it is super important to choose the right kind of mentors, right? So, typically, uh, I'm a fairly patient guy. That can be a double-edged sword, right? Too much patience and you stand where you are. But I think the right mentors are very important. And in my case, what I've typically sought out are people who are not in my field or domain. So what I would call is lateral fields. So seeking out people who doesn't necessarily always belong to my entity, my domain, my expertise, but people outside. And those people, when you are talking to them, can give you perspectives that completely changes the paradigm of what I mean. Typically it's very incestuous, right? If you're talking to the same set of people, you get very similar advices, right? So what has worked for me is, so one of my mentors in early days was an HR head of the organization. I'm a supply chain OR guy. We I sought him out because I had read he written something about something in an American journal. So that was a very important mentor, because I knew my strengths, and he was able to help me understand that you don't want to be something like everybody else, right? You have certain strengths. Don't try to be somebody else. Make the most of that strength, right? So play through your strengths. And that has really helped me in my career, right? For example, when I joined Accenture, I don't have an MBA. I never put up a slide or anything. I came from industry, but I used to do real work. I used to run warehouses. I used to run planning functions. And the point I'm going to make here is that, but I had strength. So that confidence, so my mentor helped me understand my strengths, helped me understand that you need to play with your strengths. So my point again here is that look for people, sometimes outside. And mentors does not necessarily have to be senior to you. Mentors can be young people also, right? So I keep a certain group of people in my close connections, and I keep asking, right? Even before coming to this session, I had a certain set of people who young generation in their 20s. I talk to them because what you get from them is super phenomenally important, because the world of AI and GenAI is a very disruptive, and how these guys think about GenAI and AI influences how I put policies and processes in place for my larger organization. So the point here is that expand your mentors outside of your core area of expertise, and your mentors can be across the age groups and across geographies, and that enriches who you are as a practitioner and improves your decision making in the process.
That's so amazing. And it requires a lot of humility, it requires a lot of humility from our side to be able to actually go across and actually seek help. And which is also, I think, a very important trait to have in
Absolutely.
a person.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely critical.
reverse mentoring. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. And again, it goes back to values, principles. Ego apna chodo. Ego chodo.
Ego chode. I want to add one point to what Swati ji was saying about, see, AI and the careers. What does it mean for our people? I want to just say a few things, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so if I am an employee in an organization today, and I might not be doing anything with AI and GenAI, I think it is a very important point in our life, right? I do work a lot with clients, and they are embracing GenAI, and they are doing a lot of projects with GenAI. And as I look at my own clients, right, I see three, four things emerging very clearly, right? And I think it's a point I want to make to people who are in corporate to take advantage of that, right? That GenAI, of course, is a technology, is unstoppable. It is absolutely the force that will transform A industries, B clients, C or companies, C individuals, C countries, everything. But we need to take advantage of that, right? So one thing is that your end-to-end mindset, right? This is about mindset. I've seen at clients where people are using GenAI for a small problem to solve. And I see clients where they are using GenAI and agents to completely transform and relook at the way they do work, right? So it's an inflection point. So you as an employee need to be aware about this. That GenAI is not about solving a point problem. It is about transforming a process, transforming how companies do well. So those employees who understand that power will do well. Seek out those opportunities. Join initiatives where a GenAI a pilot is happening. Join initiatives where a GenAI is being used to build. The data foundation for GenAI is to build. So get yourself closer to work that involves the use of GenAI in your organization. Second thing is that I see again where my clients are successful or not successful, those clients who have brought their people in the GenAI journey, who understands GenAI, who have skilled their people in doing new works are successful. So of course, to point Swati ji and Sripal ji, upskilling, reskilling is super important. Learning, having affinity for technology is absolutely a fundament. I was not a technology guy, right? I always took pride that method strategies to, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. But last 5 7 years, I am more technology than a technology guy because I'm not looking at technology as my passion. I'm looking at solving problems as my passion. Once I know that I'm excited about solving problems, I will get all the means to make that happen, right? So that second point is, so make learning new skills in the context of your problem solving ambition critical to you. And the last point I would make here is that even if you're on a technical side, for companies to take advantage of GenAI and its power, the whole bit around data and data foundation and all this underpinning is super critical. Again, it's an exciting time for all of us as employees. Just give yourself the time and look and seek out those kind of initiatives, projects, and your career will thrive, is what I'm seeing. I see this in my own clients, employees of clients who don't fear GenAI versus those who fear GenAI. Those who don't fear GenAI, they get pulled up, get promoted, and they're going up. So that's an advantage you have to take advantage of.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that really brings to Sripalji. You know, a couple of questions here. And first one I'm going to address to you is talking about AI itself. And in the age of AI, how is the CA or, how is it being applied in chartered accountancy and all the area that you are working in? Is it impacting it? And what do people need to do?
I think the basic work, Sushmaji, is getting automated, and that was already being done. It's not something uh, which we are hearing for the first time, because previously robotics was already there and a lot of bots were being used. But in audit, definitely analytics have come a big way, and we are seeing the way Microsoft Copilot is being used, and a lot of the AI tools like ChatGPT and all, and internal tools of Big Fours are also being made. So people are using that, and especially towards the literature side. If I want to answer a standard, how this particular thing is recognized, say an asset or a liability, or a revenue for that matter, I think the AI is definitely helping that, Because previously we used to go to the literature, check, see how the standard applies, how this rule applies. So I think to that extent, that particular things are getting automated, and that is definitely impacting the profession as such. And with respect to, I think the way PPTs which were done, I think copilots is being used more now. And even so, the basically the entire thing is now more on analytics. Now auditors are also not expected to kind of audit everything, but what are the insights? They're expecting finance to become more business partners than just kind of narrating about what is happening in the finance, because that everyone knows these days. So I think it's more towards why thinking, more towards analytics, insightful analytics, and predictive analytics. कि मतलब next 2 years में what will happen, next 6 months में what will happen, and what should I do to ensure that I reach to that number. So I think to that extent, definitely you're seeing that the work is moving towards that region, and AI is definitely impacting that, because the majority of the work, if you see the way agentive AI is coming now, what all I used to do, it's getting automated to that extent, because you're then training same person like Sripal, giving him the same knowledge and all, and it's kind of replicating the same thing. The only thing which it can't do more is judgmental related stuff, because the standards keeps changing, opinions keeps changing. So what opinion I should take towards this particular thing, that obviously comes from an auditor or comes from a tax person. So yeah, I think AI is trying to impact in that particular manner.
Great. Thank you so much. And there's a specific question directed to you from Pratik Jain. It's in the chat box. And Pratik, I can see that you're here. If you'd like to just come on camera. He says, I'm working with Big Four in India in US tax. Just need suggestion. Working in India is good or US, if you can guide me, will be helpful.
So Pratik ji, Jai Jinendra, first of all, and US tax obviously is a relevant area, and I think, but you need to have some professional qualifications before you move to the country like US, because here typically if you are a CPA or an enroll agent, then only the preferences are more towards getting a job. And one more thing, it's very important, is most of the people think that if I do a CPA or EA, they get a job in the US, which is not the case, because in US experience is greater than qualification. So it's very, very important, or I would say indispensable, that you work couple of years or almost 2 to 3 years in India and then make a switch to the US. So we do have a master's pathway, Sushma ji, where we have tied up with a lot of universities. And lately, I think many of them are not aware, and I wanted to throw this particular thing as well here in this session, is accounting has been accepted in STEM. So how in engineering we used to have a STEM where they go to the US and they used to have a 3 years OPT, optional practical training visa. They could work in the US for 3 years after they complete their masters. Now the same has happened to accounting also, because there is a huge shortage of accountants in the US. So accounting have also got accepted in STEM. So now the degrees are masters in accounting and analytics, whereby enabling them to get a 3 year OPT, which is optional practical training visa. So they do a 1 year masters and they can work in the US for 3 years after completing that masters. But we normally go through that route because we are tied up with a lot of universities, but we recommend people only to take that route provided they have couple of years or 3 years of experience with a qualification like a CPA or an EA, then make a choice. Because just imagine, like, if you are in the US, Sushma ji, why would you hire a fresher? I mean, they don't have any experience, they don't have the culture, they don't have that knowledge. So that is one of the things which is happening currently in India, is everyone is trying to oversell more. I think we need to kind of be little logical in understanding from the employer perspective also, why would they kind of take you, right? And I think this should be the strategy, Pratik ji, is to work couple of years, do CP or EA, then take a master's route and then work in the US for 3 years.
Thank you for
Great.
guiding me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for that question. And we will come back to all of your questions. But I think I would just like to, at this stage, take a little pause from this, and we will come back to more questions and continue the discussions. And that is when I'm really listening to all this. I mean, it is like, yes, a lot is changing. There are so many things that we need. And when we're at a crossroads, how do we make the decision? Whatever may be the crossroads at whatever stage in our life. One is definitely to have a thought and go back to our values, principles, what matters to us was shared. Then we look at, okay, can we get a mentor, somebody who can give us something more? Ask them, not only one mentor. Expand your network, expand this, you get different perspectives. And in this constantly changing world, I don't think there's one thing that can fit everything and we can have a solution today. It may be different for tomorrow, and that's the excitement, never boring, never routine, but that's also the challenge. So mentoring is an important part of life. And at JITO JPF, which is what we're here from, and this is the group that is bringing this to you, we have fantastic mentors. We have so many people who are volunteering their time who you can get in touch with. So what is the JPF mentorship program? I'm going to request Sayogji to take us through that. Sayogji, over to you.
Thank you, Sushma ji. I was really so engrossed, and I put on my student hat and I was enjoying the conversation that you were having with your guest. A lot of learning, no matter at what age or what point of time in your life you are. So I want to share with you, I want to give you a quick background about JITO, about JPF, and then we'll talk a little bit more in detail about how the JPF mentorship program really works. Now, so as far as JITO is concerned, JITO is a very large organization and also called Jain International Trade Organization. It is a unique multi-stakeholder community of visionary Jain industrialists, businessmen, and professionals who share a common commitment, and that is to shape the future of the community and also of the society at large. JITO has got its footprint all across India, 9 zones, 73 chapters, and it also has presence internationally. We have 31 international locations. Now, JITO has 14 projects or wings that they call, and one of the project is the JITO Professional Forum, and that's what we are part of. The JPF mentorship program, which is part of the JPF wing, and the tagline really resonates with what we do, where experience meets curiosity. And the vision of the mentorship program for 2026 and beyond is to build a platform where Jain professionals can engage with accomplished Jain professionals, like the one who are our guests today, Prashant ji, Sripal ji, and Swati ji, and interact with JITO members. And the goal is to create avenues that will allow Jain professionals across all sectors to network with industry leaders. And we want over the years to touch 1 lakh Jain professionals towards their path to success. You've already heard what kind of a role mentorship can play in one's career. Now, it is, actually the best things of life really are free. And so is the JITO mentorship program. It's a pro bono program which is open to all Jain community members and who have an aspiration, who have a dream, and you want to really add wings to that dream. And there are so many different areas in which you can seek mentorship, right from leadership to womanpreneur, digital marketing, career transition, product management, and every month we are adding new capabilities to the program, and that comes with as more and more mentors join the panel. And I'll tell you a little bit about who the mentors are in a second. So far as our journey is concerned, we have, even though the slide says 52, but actually we have 60 mentors now, and the number is growing, I should say, every month. We have 2 what we call as the JPF level up circle groups, in that there are 465 mentees who are part of it, and you can also become part of that of those 2 groups. In a short while, I'll tell you how do you become members of those groups. We have had group mentoring sessions where 15 to 20 people get together, and then you can ask the kind of questions that you would want to ask the mentors. We have had one-on-one sessions. We have level up series. This is the 15th of the level up series. And by the way, I'll share with you the different topics that we have touched on our level up series. And I'll give you a quick 30 seconds to take a look at some of the topics that we have talked about. And by the way, the recordings of all these level up series is available on YouTube. So you can go back and visit them. And what I picked up from, our guest today, yeah, there are a lot of things which are changing, but there are still a lot of things which are evergreen and which haven't changed. So those recordings are very, very, they are extremely valuable even today. Our mentors, they represent, I know I shouldn't say they represent, but they come from all different companies, from new age companies to traditional companies, different industries, and they have had experience in working with the Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 50 companies, some of the most well-known and emerging companies which are there in the globe. And you will be able to see the complete profile of our mentors once you are part of the groups that I talked about. So here are some of our mentors, from Accenture to Axis Bank to PepsiCo to Diversify to Wipro, Indian multinationals, global multinational companies, the best of the best. And just in the last 60 days, we have added more new mentors, Mr. Nishit Jain, Mr. Mukesh Jain, Anita Shah ma'am, Kunal Jain, Neetu Sethia, Dr. Sonal Bodia. So, and we are adding new mentors to the panel. Now, this is really an initiative for the community, by the community. And like it was said, if you cannot see where you're going, ask someone who has been there before. And some of the questions that may come to the mind of our participants are, do I need to be a JITO member? So far, no, you don't need to be a JITO member to take advantage of the program. Is there any fee? There is no fee. There is no age limit. There's no minimum work experience that you need to have in order to take advantage of the mentorship program. The program is conducted virtually, so you could be anywhere in the world and still take advantage of the program. And all your conversations are confidential between you and the mentor or whatever avenue that you are part of. We are working on a number of things. We believe in continuous and never-ending improvement. Right now, what we are working on is to create a single community group on WhatsApp called JPF Level Up Circle Community. And the focus or the objective of our this group is going to be that it is going to be a space for ambitious Jain professionals to learn, grow, and connect through the power of mentorship. Here we exchange ideas, ask questions, and gain insights from some of the best minds in our community. Let's level up together. So that is what our aim is as far as combining both these groups. We are also in the process of creating a directory of the members on the community group. We are working, like I told you, that there is no really age limit. We are doing a pilot at Jain College in Bengaluru. And once when we have stabilized the program over there, we would want to roll out that program to different Jain institutions across the country. We are also looking to launch our small group mentoring sessions starting next month. And there is also a plan to hold a global conclave for JPF over the next couple of months. Now, this is the core team. What you see right on the top is the chairman of JPF, Mr. Kumarpal Chopra, as well as Manish G. Jain. He's a JPF director in charge. All of us volunteer under the leadership of Vishalji, MD, Accenture, as well as convener of the JPF mentorship program. And by the way, if anyone on this group is interested in joining as a volunteer, please, you can write to us. I will tell you in a second where you should be, who you should be writing to. So how can you participate? There are many avenues through which you can participate. One is the Level Up series, the kind that we're doing right now. These are expert-led sessions for professional growth, all done virtually. group mentoring session. These are small groups where you have a chance to interact with the mentors. There is one-on-one mentorship. We are structuring this once again, and we will open this particular avenue for our group members. And then there are also conclaves and events. Conclave I talked about, and there are events. So at the chapter and the zone level, as and when the situation arises and our mentors are traveling to that particular location, they will be happy to participate in those events. And if you like our vision and you want to volunteer in our mission, you can write to contacts which are given below. I saw in the chat somebody was asking, how do I become part of the Level Up Circle? There are numbers there. By the way, Rutika Sawant, she is the program manager. She's at the JITO Apex Secretariat. Her phone number as well as her email ID is given there. You could also reach out to me. And that is all that I have for our participants, Sushma ji. So it is over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And in the chat box, just as you said, I have put a Google form, which is talking about the session today, what you would like, how we can make it more relevant and useful for you, because we are here for our participants and the people who are really there to, as Sayogji said, level up together. We'd love to hear from you, how you can join the Level Up series, the circles, so that you can keep getting information about it. And that is what we're really looking for. Also, Ritika, I would request you to put the 2 links to what Sayogji mentioned. The previous series, the entire YouTube, all the series are available up to series number 14. We had all this about 2 years ago, and wonderful sessions that we've had. You can always go refer to them. Lots of advice everywhere. So there have been some questions in the chat box, and I think it's a good time to open it up. So feel free to unmute yourselves and ask your questions. But in the meantime, Prashant, I think you saw something there and you said you'd like to answer it. So quick answers would be appreciated.
I think this perception that MBA is not anymore relevant is not true. I just give you I won't say more, but just say the facts, right? If you look at the top, I mean, as Accenture, we hire from the top business schools, and the number of people we've hired has only increased, right? And if you go to the business schools itself, right, the number of people joining consulting has increased from say 28% to 38% in the top 10, 15 business schools. So one, people are going into consulting more. And number two, the number of people we hired has increased by a factor of 3 in the last 5-6 years. So MBA is still a very, very relevant education, at least in the industry I come from, right? Super relevant, because what MBAs bring is some exactly the kind of things. For you to use agents and GenAI, you need to reinvent the entire organization's end-to-end processes. That broad experience or education helps you do that. The softer skills that MBAs bring, these are super important in the age of GenAI. So MBA is still a very relevant education. Having said that, I see in my own organization, we need a lot of specialized skills. So when we make an offer, and like to what Sripal ji and Swati ji were saying, continuous learning. If you are doing an MBA and you find additional a data and AI or a specific industry expertise, that gets you picked up faster. I will make an offer if I have 2 slots, 5 people, all great pedigree, but somebody with some additional specificity about an industry, about some data and AI, some technology will get picked up very quickly. So that is very important point. And I think I'm saying that non-MBAs also, right? As Accenture, in my strategy and consulting business, we never used to go beyond the top 10, 15 business schools. And we hired 500 MBAs just from this top 10 schools. What has changed is we have started to hire people from math background. We are starting to hire people from Stevens and Hindu in my strategy and consulting business. We are hiring people who are just engineers. The point I want to make here is that GenAI has disrupted the what I hire and where I hire. So we are going to specialized schools. We do want the broad MBA experience, And if you're not getting it, we go to specialized schools. General experience नहीं मिल रहा तो specialized schools like Petroleum Institute, or we'll go to the ISC, we'll go to the Indian Statistical Institute. So don't give up on MBA, but also MBA is not the only elephant in the room. There are so many other areas of education that will give you great careers. So that is one. Second point was on foreign. I mean, I think Nepaji did not say about educating yourself in the US or foreign versus India, but as a father of two kids, I'm at that cross point all the time because. But I think so the point here is that foreign education is super, 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 super valuable. I loved my education in India as an engineer. I got exposures and skills that I would not got in the US. But for my post grad, which is the higher education, I think the US or the foreign education gives you global exposure, gives you if original research, like I got to work with professors in my masters doing something cutting edge, net new thinking work, right? So if you are a kind of person who would value original research, global exposure, cutting edge of the work sometimes, right? In India, we're great at applying the cutting edge. In the foreign, they're great at creating the cutting edge. So if you are that kind of a person, absolutely do look at the foreign education as well. And then third point is I want to work outside of India. Um, I can assure you that if you join the right companies in professional services companies like Accenture or Deloitte, in the post-COVID world, right? I would say 90% of the work pre-COVID strategy and consulting work is to happen in front of the client. What COVID did was it said location is no longer important, right? So you can do a lot of high-end strategy and consulting work sitting in India, but also companies like Accenture will send you abroad as well, right? So I got to work across 6 continents. My team people work across the globe. You may not go and settle in the US or UK or Japan or South Africa, but you will go and spend 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, get the global exposure and come back. So that is the next best thing I can say. A, use the education route. With the right education in the foreign countries, you get the right jobs, but you have to choose the right programs and right colleges. But if education is not the route, join the right kind of professional services companies in India. India's time has arrived. We are doing the most cutting edge work out of India, and we're also going to foreign countries to do that work. So those are the 3 points I want to make. Swati ji, Sripal ji, if you have any other points here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, quick 1 minute last words from you, Swati, and Sripal ji, please.
Sure.
Swati?
Okay. So I would just say on this question itself, MBA means the education importance remains. So don't even think that MBA is not relevant right now. It is very relevant in a nutshell. And two, if you're thinking to go abroad and work, I would just point out that if you want to stay there for a long period, may as well. If you have an opportunity, may as well. Otherwise, don't consider it to be definitively better than India to go abroad and work. So you can work right now. When an opportunity naturally comes, you can go later as well. So everything is now, a lot of intermixing is there. So anything, anytime, anywhere can be done. So that is what I will say. But in a nutshell, I would just say one more aspect just to as ending point. While I think we discussed all of the aspects. A couple of things I would also leave on the table that we did not discuss. I think it is also important, like when you while you enrich yourself professionally through the degrees, certifications, etc., make your digital presence also. Uh, I think Shipalji is a great example of the LinkedIn presence, right? So I think share your thoughts, be active there, get connected to the right people. That is also one very big part of your growth journey in today's world. So don't ignore that, your digital footprint and your connections there. Second is that through such forums remain connected. So such I had joined similar networking or mentoring forums, and those really helped me out. So that's the second thing I will say. And third thing, one point was mentioned about humility. I think among all the values, lack of ego and humility is the biggest to carry in the corporate world, because people will say anything. I see youngsters just leaving jobs because their boss told them anything, or they felt a lot of politics, or they did not get promoted. I will highly discourage that. Have patience, see the bigger picture. Don't take such instant decision. Follow your heart. Following should be bigger than anything anyone does around you. So please do that, because I have seen that because I had humility, some of the people who really sort of said something not so comfortable to me, means or tested my ego at a point in time, and I really behaved well. Those were the people who really took me to the top later. Time companies may change, but your relationships with people really sustain and have the right relationship, and that comes when you have lowered down your ego. So that's from me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sripalji. And
think
there is a question
one
here. How to
yeah,
crack internships in college days when the scope of skills and experience is limited? If you could quickly answer that and then give us your last final comments.
obviously to become the class monitor. So I was class monitor in my college days. Always leadership is the most important thing if you want to uh, get known anywhere. So try to take leadership, and the best way to take leadership is to start taking initiatives. So try to be in your clubs, try to be in the community, connect with your alumni. Don't ask for jobs directly, but ask for guidance. When you ask for jobs, can you refer me here and there, no one will answer you. So no one will try to even respond also. So always ask for guidance. When you ask for guidance, people become involved with you. They feel a sense of ownership with you. Yeah, like, see, this is my vision, I want to reach here. So Mr. Vishal sir, can you help me? You have become a great, like, a leader there, at a managing director at Accenture, so I also want to be like you. So if you talk like that, if you try to, I'm not like kind of doing that currently with Vishal sir, but I'm just telling you, if you want to kind of take mentoring like that from leaders, so you need to kind of understand that you're only asking for guidance. So when you tell, sir, I want your guidance, how can I become like you? So then people get involved with your journey, and then they invest in you, and that is how mentors and mentee relationships are developed. So this is very important. Even when you're going for internships or anything, you'll need to take certain initiatives, connect with your alumni, get referrals, and the end of the day, it's networking. So once you get the network, once you get the right referrals, automatically you get jobs and all. And then second thing is pick up some small skill set, one or two skills like financial modeling, Python or Excel. I think Excel is more than sufficient. We don't need Python, Anaconda, and all those stuff. I think snakes are not required. What is required today also is the basic things, is Microsoft Excel. So try to have some formulas in Excel like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and a bit of pivots and all. I think you should be good to go at least in the college days. And then your networking kind of helps you cracking that. So this is one of the important things. Third thing is to have a good portfolio, have a very visible LinkedIn profile. And I mean, I have, like Swati ma'am said, that I have almost 70,000 followers now on LinkedIn. So I'm one of the influencers. But what I would suggest is to write on LinkedIn, try to be more proactive, connect with recruiters at a very early point of time. So once you are in the college, that I went here, I went this, I participated in mock competitions and all. Try to post about it, even if you don't get an award. I mean, you still tell that you are a participant there. So try to create your own personal brand. I think what AI can't automate is personal brand. It's very difficult to automate personal brand. It's very difficult to automate connections. Networking cannot be automated because there is a human touch involved. So that's what I would say, is to have a very vibrant personal brand. It will make things easier for you. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm being very mindful of time. We can have informal interactions after we formally close this. And of course, a big, 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 big thank you to all of you, Swati ji, Prashant ji, Sripal ji. I mean, fantastic points in terms of values, in terms of your career crossroads, the decision-making process, and so many tips that you've given, some fantastic tips, and Sripal ji, this thing, मेरे को refer करो, मेरे को job दो. You know, what you've just said is so
Phenomenal.
fantastic, because I hear so many senior people say, agar wo log ko job chahiye, we don't want to mentor them. So even if all of you are signing up for a mentor program, please be clear, it is not to seek jobs, but to be mentored. Please be careful about that. You really touched a raw nerve for most people. And just with everybody's permission, I would like to go a little 2 minutes extra, because I see Amit Jainji, who is a convener of JITM, has been so engrossed and active right through. Just a couple of things from you. How was the session for you? Because the first time I know you are attending this. Please unmute yourself, Amitji.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to thank all of you for holding this session. It was wonderful, absolutely enlightening experience for me. And being a part of this session as an audience was fantastic. Secondly, I would like to say that at JITM, I'd like to sensitize you all on JITM. Maybe 30 seconds would be enough for me. I would like to sensitize you on the JITM vertical, which has been newly introduced as part of the JITO umbrella. So it stands for Innovation, Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Management, wherein we try to bring in the hot topics as well as the future focused topics of innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, and management. So presently, the first program, I'm trying to curate a first program on the JITM vertical. It's called Demystifying the Road to SME IPO. So SME IPOs is a rather, sort of a in topic today, where a lot of companies, especially the Gen Sejis, if I would like to use the term, a lot of Gen Sejis would like to go corporate and have an IPO of their own. So I've got in touch with some relevant people, and initially we had planned a date on 31st of May. But due to this ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan, yesterday only, I think the JITO Gurugram chapter head Sailesh Bhai told us that probably May would not be a suitable month to hold any more sessions. So we are still working on that, but I think in the coming week the picture would be rather clear. So I would like to collaborate with you all, you wonderful people, Prashant ji, Vishal ji, Swati ji, Sushma ji, and the like, Sanyog ji, etc. And would like to probably collaborate, as I've been hearing in this session. It gives a multiple dimension to a specific topic when you have so many different inputs coming in from such wonderful experience holders in their field of line. So thank you so much for holding this session. It was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for those nice, kind words. And I'm sure we'll keep collaborating. I mean, Vishalji will make sure of that. And both of you are in Gurgaon, so I'm sure, physical proximity also helps, right?
Yeah.
And with that, Vinodji Jain, you've been answering questions here, and there were so many others of you who all participated. Excuse me if I'm not able to take all your names, but really we are grateful to all of you, and we wish you a fantastic career and community, and lots of choices to be made, and every choice matters. And on that note, let's end it formally. Feel free to unmute yourselves. Come out, whatever you'd like to say, request the panelists and everyone to just be there. Let's have an informal chat for about 10 minutes or so, and then we can actually end the meeting.
Let me also thank you, Sushma ji, for conducting so well. And again, Prashant, Swati, and Sripal, especially to you. It's what, 1:30 a.m. in the morning or 1 o'clock. So that's the commitment. Sripal runs Samandra Education. He has 4 a.m. club, encouraging students to get up early in the morning, and especially encouraging them, because when you have a head start in your day, you have a head start in your life. So there are a number of things to learn. I guess for me, the biggest thing is that what skill you need. I think the biggest skill, my personal perspective, is the skill to be a learner for the lifelong learner, right? If you are a learner, you will join the session like this. You will embed human skills, cognitive skills, technology skills. Skills will come and go. AI will become Gen AI to agentic AI to something else. The robots may come, something else will come. But if you're a learner, you will continue to be the leapfrogging. You will continue to lead the charge in life. And I think that's that's my personal reflection. By the way, Julie Sweet, who is CEO of Accenture, claims she's a lawyer. She's leading the technology company, what's one of the largest technology company of 800,000 people. And as per her, are you a learner is the biggest single most important question in the interview. So that just tells you right from the top. So thank you again, Sushma ji and everyone. And I think we can open it up informally for everyone. I think mentors, Sripal, if you feel free to drop. I know it's very late already, your morning, or very early. You can continue to your 4 a.m. club now. But feel free to drop. And again, Prashant, you and Swati as well. But we can open it up informally for people.
I'll stay back.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel really obliged, and thank you, Sushma ji, for moderating it so beautifully.
Very well done.
Thank you.
So I think Sushma ji has done an amazing job. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, please, like I wanted to give one tip. Please do Samayik every day. Who all are there here? I think that has been my secret weapon. So I want you guys also to please take that very, very seriously. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
Sripal.
you. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah. Yes, please do come, unmute yourselves, speak, share. How was your experience? Any other questions?
one
We're here for
question.
interactions. Yes, Amitji.
I would like my daughter, who's just probably coming up into college. So there is a YouTube link for her to watch this program later on, is it?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Thank you.
We paste it on the group.
And if you're not able to find it, just get in touch with any of us. We'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you.
Sushma ji, Jai Jinendra.
Jai Vinodji.
What
Kaise
a-
ho?
What an excellent programming. Super duper. I'm so happy. I wish I had marketed 10 times more to the people who are in the job segment. They would have really been, they would have really enjoyed. But I'm going to share this to all the 10,000 candidates we have in our portal, and make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to, listen and, make them move on in their life. Vishalji, thank you. I mean, really, really impressive. And Swati and all the speakers, really fantastic. And I think would be, I don't know how to take it forward, but if we can set up a professional mentoring for people who want to get into a certain field, right? Maybe accounting, about technology, and there can be a lot of value add for a lot of kids between the age of 16 to 20. And before they decide on their career. I mean, we'll talk about it, but I thought some of the ideas which came off my head, and really I'm enjoying the program. I'm learning a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those fantastic words, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
We're
And
still-
Sayog, remember I spoke to you about Vinod Jainji?
Yeah, I
This
wanted
is the
to
Vinod
invite you
Jainji I was
connect
talking to you about.
So
Sayog ji,
we will connect. We will connect.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, we will connect. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to set the meeting up whenever. I mean, I think Sushma ji is planning one meeting in Bangalore, and looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
And just for groups benefit, JITO has one of the wings or a project called JITO Jobs. So Vinodji is chairperson of that. The mission is to enable 10,000 jobs in the next year and a half. So absolutely, again, as more you get to know, there are so many things happening to help each other. Maybe many of us are fortunate to be in a tier 1 city, but if you think about a tier 2, tier 3, somebody has done engineering from a, let's say, a tier 3 college or whatever, how do we enable them, right, with the right mentorship and the right connection within the community? So 10,000 jobs is a single-minded vision Vinodji has, and it's amazing to see that vision and the clear-minded focus and execution behind it. So thank you, Vinodji, for joining.
Thank you, Vishalji, for kind words. I just wanted to say that the theme of JITO Jobs is collaborate and empower and transform futures. So we can all work together to make that happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyone else, anything?
I actually have a question.
Sure.
Yes, I recently completed ACCA, and I wanted to do CFA, and I was given two options. Either I go with CFA right after completing ACCA, or I'd work for about a year or two and then go for my CFA. Can somebody give me an advice over which path should I choose?
So maybe I can jump in. I did CA and then CPA. I did not do ACCA, but I've spoken in ACCA forum several times, Sarah. So recommendation would be to have a see if you can have alongside experience continue. So first thing first, all these qualifications they allow you to do like along with the job. So that way, I think you will ensure continuity while you continue to build experience. Had it been that you're doing it full time, then I would recommend get some experience in between. It makes much more relevant. But if you can do it alongside your job, that will make sure your learning path continues. Otherwise, once you have a break in the formal education, it takes a lot of time to come back to the academic rigor. So net in summary, if you can after ACCA you want to do CFA along with the job, you can continue. Don't think about it, it's very rigorous, it will require time. I think you can figure out time and I think you can manage it. You should do it in continuation, but along with the job will be my recommendation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Yes, Shlok, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a query here. Actually, this is Shailesh here. That's my son, Slok, who had registered for it.
Okay.
And he had left a message also there. So he's in 11th grade as of now.
Mhm.
Thing is that I'm also a chartered accountant, and my elder son who's doing a CA. I'm talking this question from both point of view. I joined this was first of all, thank you so much for this wonderful session. I mean, like we all three are there glued in and watching it right from beginning. So the two questions from my both sons is like one of them is doing CA, so same question. Like I would expect if you can have another session on what to take, like CA then CFA makes sense, or CA with couple of an MBA. What are the pros cons? How what will benefit into it? Which is the right way to go? Because this is the path wherein this is I'm talking for my elder son, and the younger one who is at 11th grade is a bit confused as of like has to go for an MBA or data analytics or product designing. I mean, this kind of career path counseling, no, I think would have made a lot of. If you can put out another session for it, would be really grateful. Like,
and maybe
Thanks.
if I can say, Shailesh and your family, thanks for joining.
yeah.
I think we'll plan a dedicated session around career in finance because again today we just touched upon with Sripal, but there are so many mentors we have. We've done variety of things. Some are just MBA, some are done CFA from the US. You can do CFA from India, and the choices are very evolving, right? And there's no direct right or wrong answer. But I think we will have a dedicated session around that. And I guess there were other questions around data analytics, what one should pursue. So we do intend to have a dedicated focus around session around analytics and AI as well. We just introduced Kunal Jain as one of our mentors. He co-founded the largest AI community in India, Analytics Vidya, with 5 million members, right? And so I think we will have dedicated session. But if anything, Prashant or Swati, you would like to add about specific courses a student in grade 11 can do now for analytics? I think that was also a question posted on the chat if you would like to comment on.
So I would just say that for if he's in grade 11, uh, I would ask him to focus on his academics. And because separate course in analytics, I'm not sure. After 12th, of course, he should pursue something together. So once he's in 12th, so right now, as Sripal also mentioned earlier, that hone your basic Excel skills, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, pivot formulas, and all of that. Hone your basic PowerPoint skills, etc. I would just say that at best, if one wants to do more, some visualization courses from Coursera, etc., can be done, depending on, because we cannot really understand the whole perspective of the child in this small time. But what I would say, if you want to go ahead, maybe take up a course in some visualization or modeling technique, whatever you want to do from Coursera, Udemy. There are a lot of platforms, so that can be done. But the idea is that when we say that data analytics along with your core domain, so once you get into college, then I would highly motivate that have a Python, SQL, or anything running sideway like a side language, that in college we join French and German. Perhaps these are the languages you should learn as well. So that is what I will mention here, but we can discuss more in detail separately as well if required.
So I think
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm a contrarian. I'm a big believer that less is more. 11th and 12th is that point in your life where um, I mean, I think it is as I was saying, right? Beyond the courses per se, right? Skills. I think the other aspects of life is super important, right? So my daughter is just finishing 11th, and my son. So I also view that like Swati ji said, it focus on your academics at this point. Do other things, right? Besides the point around maybe pick up music, maybe pick up a sport, maybe do some other work that makes you more interesting in life. Because these are small elements that makes you an interesting person later in life. And in my own perspective is that. Uh, of course your skills and your degrees will help, but it is the other aspect is what gets exposed first to somebody else working with you. So my suggestion is let him be a child in 11th grade. Let him do his 11th and 12th well. Ask him to enjoy a sport, pick a hobby. uh, those are things that I would go after. And when you go in, once you know that he or she has got a certain interest, there are plenty of courses in engineering with data science. I mean, there are more courses than you can imagine, right? But my principle is simple: go to the best schools, even if it is not the course you like, because it is the people and the kind of kids you study with makes a huge difference. So academics important. Academics gives you the right admission in the right kind of schools, and Baki you will learn along the journey is my point. So focus on academics, make yourself interesting, pick up those additional non job skills, and then go into a good school. Once you're in good school, you'll always pick up good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, perfect, perfect. Well said. Thanks so much for that thing.
Hi everyone. So thank you so much for the wonderful session. First of all, it was really insightful. My question is basically around. So I completed my engineering in biomedical engineering, and then I pivoted to a very different kind of job in software. And right now I am planning on going back to bioengineering because somehow down the line, while I've been doing software and as well as when I was doing my engineering as well, I always had some inclination towards biomedical technology. So, but right now, the thing is that the kind of exposure that I might get for biomedical engineering within India is kind of limited, and especially in the kind of work that I want to do in that. So, I have a couple of offers from master programs in the US. So, but again, I'm very confused. Like, is that a good thing to do? Because that's a totally different thing that I'm moving into, and then it's like starting from ground zero. So if anybody can guide me on that, I mean, I'm very confused, like the kind of trajectory that I should be having and the kind of trajectory that I have right now. So if there's anybody who can guide me on that, I'd really appreciate that.
I can take an I mean, so can I go just 1 minute? So when you say biomedical engineering, right? So I think I was meeting one of the top doctors of a French public hospital, and the field of medicine with engineering is absolutely the most exciting field right now, right? I think a lot of companies with a lot of technologies are selling a lot of amazing stuff to Indian hospitals, right? And one skill that is lacking is people who can transcend the medical field and the engineering field. So my limited suggestion here is that look at the top medical equipment companies of the world, reach out to them. Each of them are selling and wanting to set up operations out of India, and they're looking and seeking engineers. This is verbatim coming from one of the top hospital person from a French hospital, and he was telling me that a Belgium company that sells equipments in India is having hard time finding the right engineers to work in these hospitals. So I mean that is one limited point I would like to just leave you with.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. And I would really appreciate if to find a mentor who can guide me on the way as well. I've already filled out the form that Sushma ji shared in the chat. So yeah, love to connect with you all further as well. And thank you so much for this insightful session.
Right. So on that note, I think we should be a little mindful. And, there will be so many questions that people will keep coming up with. So what we're going to suggest is, again, Arham, you asked how to join. I've reposted a link to a Google Doc. If you put your details there, we will get you into the Level Up Circle. The circle is the WhatsApp group, which you'll constantly get updates about everything happening here. Also, there would be times when we want to have not just such large sessions, it could be focused, as Vishalji has mentioned, on certain topic. And it could be small group mentoring where you can ask your questions individually. Also, maybe sometimes it may be some mentors, as we said, seek out. And I think, Prashantji, and what you've been talking about, seeking on mentors, I know that I used to also hesitate to reach out to people and say, oh, they're in such senior positions, or, they are in such well-known, should I reach out? You hesitate. But sometimes you'll be surprised that some of the people actually respond to you, and very often they do. What's the worst that can happen? You may not get a response. But if you don't try, you're definitely not getting a response. And today we have LinkedIn, and we can connect with almost anyone in the world. And I think all of us have done that. As you said, just write and see what happens. Take your chances. It's wonderful, right? So, Vishalji, what do you say? Abhi aaj ke liye band kare kya?
Yeah, I think we can close. It's about 2 hours. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And please
Yes.
do look out for our future ones. Do spread the message. I think we would rather have more people know about it. And I think that will be a great help to all of us. Thank you so much. Jai
And a
Jagan.
big thank you. Yes, and a big, big, big thank you. Yes, Vaibhav, we will be sharing. Join the Level Up series circle. Okay,
sure.
वहाँ पर तुमको मिलता रहेगा सब कुछ, ठीक है?
Good. Thank you so much.
Fill out that form. Thank you so much, Swati ji, Prashant ji,
Thank you
Vishal
so
ji,
much.
Sayog
Thank
ji,
you.
Amit ji, and everyone. And in the background, somebody who's been working so tirelessly to help us bring it all together, Ritika. Ritika, thank you so much from JITO Apex for putting it all together and all your hard work. And get well soon. Get well soon, Ritika.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.